for better, but rather to understand it in some deep way. So not only can you free yourself from the particular suffering of the day, but you understand the patterns, the causal conditions that bring about suffering, so you don't have to suffer so much in the future. So this is the task of the fourth foundation of mindfulness. And you have a much better place to study this, to pay attention to this, if you're really if you're really here in a high quality way. So we enter in through the body, breathing and body. As we begin to stabilize the attention here in this body and breath, then we start noticing some of the feelings and qualities of what goes on. And that helps us to separate out the inner life and the outer life, something that's not often recognized so well in life. As we begin sensing the inner life, which is where suffering and happiness and freedom resides or can be felt, then we start noticing how it shifts and changes the quality of this inner life. And that gives us a possibility or a vantage point to understand something about the causes and conditions for the shifting nature of our inner life, so that we can start choosing or have some mastery over what we do in relationship to it. So we're not the victims of the mood. We're not kind of just by accident and by circumstances that we feel free or happy or peaceful, but that we have some mastery or we have some choice or we have some ability to negotiate this life of ours so that we can safeguard the high quality of our inner life. When we do this, and we have this higher quality of inner life, then the world feels quite expansive. And this is where mindfulness or attention or awareness has these really wonderful qualities that that are probably hard to, or difficult to probably characterize in some essentialist way or absolute way that this is how it is. But people talk sometimes about, today I was meeting with people who talked about in every experience, in the heart of every experience you have, is a taste of the infinite. Isn't that a beautiful expression? I thought it was kind of nice. And so, the taste of the infinite, what a great thing. So, I'm just content with peace. But yeah, or they feel, one of the beautiful things is as awareness becomes quite expansive and a lot of peace, the sense of self-referencing that we often live our life by falls away. And it's quite a relief and quite beautiful to have a certain kind of transparent or the classic Buddhist word is empty experience of self. To feel the self-referencing, self-consciousness has dropped away entirely. So in this peace and this freedom, there's a kind of lack of self-referencing or lack of self-consciousness, which feels so much better than how most forms of self-referencing work in our minds. And so then Buddhists talk about not self as part of that experience. And that's, then if you try to philosophize about that, it gets complicated very quickly. But if it's mostly just a matter of relaxing and opening up and having the consciousness become expansive and so relaxed that there's no self-referencing, that's fun. Much more fun than philosophy. So in this process then of the truth, the fourth foundation, the last of the thing that the Buddha emphasized that you want to understand is what's called the Four Noble Truths, and to really see how the Four Noble Truths work in the details of your own heart. So the Four Noble Truths are the truth of suffering, the truth of the cause of suffering, the truth of the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to the end of suffering, which is the Eightfold Path. So now we've kind of come in a full circle, because the Eightfold Path begins with appreciating the Four Noble Truths. But as a person goes along in the path of practice and goes deeper and deeper into this path, at some point, especially with mindfulness being strong, it's possible to see and experience the Four Noble Truths in a much more intimate and visceral way, where it becomes obvious and direct that the Four Noble Truths are operating in our lives. And at that point, when we can really see it for ourselves and have some tremendous confidence in the value of orienting our life around the Four Noble Truths, a person is said to become independent in the Dharma. Isn't that a great term? Independent in the Dharma. So meaning that you understand the practice, you understand the Dharma for yourself, and you no longer rely on a teacher, because now you know something for yourself. And that's part of the goal of this Eightfold Path, is to go from A to A in such a way that you can really be A. You can be independent. You can be the teacher here. And in case there's a danger of having too much conceit around being, independent in the Dharma, you can't be independent in the Dharma there's a lot of self-referencing going on. Isn't that nice? So you can't take much credit for it. So, the Eightfold Path, there is right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, and then right effort, and then today, right mindfulness. All these things work together, they support each other, they coordinate it together, and right mindfulness is a really important stepping stone for this deep inner work that we're doing in this practice. And then the next time I'm here, I guess it's probably maybe next Monday, I'm not sure. But next time I'm here, the final step of the Eightfold Path, which is right concentration. It's the coupling of mindfulness with concentration in such a way that mindfulness can do its most penetrating work. So, we have about 5 minutes. If any of you have any questions or comments you'd like to make about this, you're welcome to. Something wasn't so clear.
Well, I just have a kind of humorous comment. So last night I watched Men in Black 3 with my husband, and there was so much awareness of agitation in my mind and body as I'm watching the monsters flying and all the daggers going. I had to get up and leave. It was just, it's ruined me. I can't watch the movies that my husband enjoys anymore. I hardly watch any movies at all, but anyway, I gave it a try last night, and it was a horrible failure.
And so, the practice has ruined you?
No, yeah, well, as far as movie watching, yes. It's,
please express my apologies to your husband. if coming here has somehow, made your home life a little more awkward, you can't share this with him. But it'll get better as you become free, or you'll be able to watch and not get agitated.
Yeah, I was waiting for that to happen, but I was so aware of the bodily manifestations and the agitation of my mind and body. It was not pleasant.
Yeah, it might take a few years. Keep going with the practice, and eventually you can be there with your husband, watching men. I don't know, Men in Black. I don't know this. So, okay, maybe that's enough. Yeah?
May I ask you to list the 5 hindrances?
Oh, list the 5 hindrances.
just list.
The hindrance. So, people who do our practice here, the mindfulness practice, it's really good to become experts on the 5 hindrances. It's kind of like one of the important tasks of our practice is to really understand them so you can smell them coming. So the usual list, there's actually 2 versions of the list, but the usual list is desire, ill will, in English Buddhist English. The next one is called sloth and torpor. And then the next one usually is restlessness and regret. And the last one is doubt. Doubt. So these are, I call them sometimes the black holes of the mind. Because when they become strong, black holes, light goes in but can't come out. Awareness goes in, it doesn't come out. You get caught up in one of these things.
Is that in your issue at hand?
Is it in the issue at handbook? I don't think I have anything there about the 5 hindrances, but on our website, there's an article page. I have a lot of articles I've written that are not in the book.
Yes.
And there's 6 articles on the 5 hindrances. A general overview of them, and then an article for each one. So you can read about it there. Okay, so what I'd like to say as we close is that if this kind of talk tonight seemed complicated with all these things, 4 things, now the 5 hindrances and the 4 noble truths, I'd like to encourage you to remember that the practice is meant to be simple, and a lot of these things open up and reveal themselves in due time by themselves. You don't have to go looking for them. And so maybe the most important thing I would like you to leave with is a hugely big part of the practice is to go from A to A. So to really be here, and to learn how to be here for your experience right here, and then the rest of it hopefully will open up for you. So may you may you thrive in your particular version of A.